So what is going on with the state of the Republican Party in Virginia? Even Maryland is better off. Larry Hogan is going to win again in Maryland. If you're listening to me right now, I'm predicting it now. He's going to win again. Ben Jeal's way too liberal. Hogan's going to win again. So Maryland, as liberal and blue as they are, gets 2 Republican governors. Virginia, they've lost 10 statewide races in a row, heading towards 11. They don't have a chairman. Nobody wants to run. Now they're talking about nominating the umpire. It's like, you got to be kidding me. Joining us to try to straighten this out, Chris Saxman. He's often a guest host for me and also part of our Republican Roundtable. And he's also the president of Virginia Free and a former House of Delegates member. Chris, thanks for joining us.
Great to be with you, John. How are you today?
Interesting. Let's first get to Corey Stewart. All right, he isn't going to win. He's got, in my mind, about 0 chance of winning, right? So he's not going to get elected. So therefore, Virginia's going to lose 11 statewide races in a row after he goes down. We just heard from Scott Taylor, who said, look, I have no plans to campaign with him. I'm running my own race. That's the common theme amongst all of the congressional candidates in Virginia. We don't have a chairman. Stewart goes to the Red Hen the other day to campaign. I'm not sure where that got him any votes. Maybe it did. What do you make of this?
Well, Corey Stewart's a difficult statewide candidate in Virginia in 2018. He just is. It was going to be a difficult statewide race anyway, with Trump at the top of the ticket in a state that he lost by 5 points. So structurally, it wasn't going to be an easy year anyway for Republicans. So lay on top of that the remnants of Corey's campaign in 2017, which were largely designed to win free and earned media, as sensational as they were, repelled a lot of Virginia voters. So that's sort of where structurally the Republican Party is going into the general election. Since the nomination, though, it's been very quiet. And that's very telling as well. So when something pops up like the Red Hen, if you're going to Lexington to win votes, that's not why he went there. He went to get attention and get his name and ID up in the press.
Yeah, for what purpose? People aren't campaigning with him. He isn't going to win. So the Republican Party of Virginia has bigger problems than Corey Stewart, because November 8th, Corey Stewart will have come and he will go, right, as far as the statewide candidate is concerned. Meantime, Whitbeck resigns. There's no chairman. It's going to be decided on September 8th. Right. And Chris, right now there's still yet to be one candidate who has said, I want to run. Now, there's speculative people, where for former Governor Jim Gilmore, 100%, he's not committed. We understand Jack Wilson, my chairman in the 4th District, which is kind of the Richmond to Chesapeake area, that 460 bend in Suffolk. He's supposed to get in today or tomorrow. But I got to be honest, Chris, I mean, Jack's a nice guy, but he's an umpire. And it would be like, look, you're a baseball fan, all right? It would be like you're the owner of the Orioles now. You're Peter Angelis, right? You're the owner or the CEO of the Baltimore Orioles. They're 50 games out. They're 50 games under 500. They might have the worst record in the history of the major leagues ever, including the 62 Mets. And you as the CEO say, okay, I need a new general manager to fix my team long term. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hire the first base umpire. He'll do it. Does that make any sense?
Right. No, it makes no, well, I'm not going to not disparage Mr. Wilson by any stretch. I've never met him. The problem is, though, for the Republican Party and its elected representatives in the state central committee and around the state, they're misaligned to the general election, the general electorate in Virginia right now. It's a very different political world in which we live. Suburban issues are dominant and deciding in Virginia, and the Republican Party has done quite well in that until recently, when the blue wave hit in 2017, which was a suburban tsunami. And that's just where the battleground is. And the policies aren't aligned to winning areas like Henrico County, Fairfax, Prince William, Loudoun right now. And it's difficult when the primary conversation topic is President Trump. It's just not a great hotbed of Trumpism, if you will, in suburban America.
So what do they do? I mean, what?
That's the problem.
If they went to if they called you, if a bunch of people called you up today and said, Chris Saxman, look, you're a House of Delegates member, you get it, you ran the McCain campaign, you were elected, you're the president of Virginia Free. Why don't you come and take the Republican Party of Virginia over? Would you do it?
Why? There has to be a compelling why for anyone to do this job, or for let alone any job in politics. There has to be a compelling why. What are you trying to accomplish? If your means is just to be angry and to no end, that's a difficult sell.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have a compelling reason, and that's what the Republicans are up against right now, and so the Democrats. Quite frankly, both parties are trying to find themselves in an ever-changing political landscape that has been disrupted by Donald Trump, which is not unhealthy, by the way.
But you're saying the same thing when we had former governor of Virginia, Jim Gilmore, on. You're saying the exact same thing. He said in order for a chairman to be effective, there has to be a why. They have to have a plan, mission. They have to reposition the party, rebrand it. They have to have a clear vision, message. Party doesn't have that now.
Well, and that's going to be a deliberative process. And frankly, we don't have a lot of deliberative people in politics these days.
Right.
It's very reactionary, very social media driven. Oh, how can I, crush this guy on Twitter and feel great about myself, or tee myself up for a spot on Fox News as a way to drive the conversation. This is going to be a process and an evolution of both political parties. And you have, the one candidate in New York, 14th, who is running as a Democratic Socialist, took out the number 4 Democrat in the House of Representatives. I don't think it's as ideological as it was identitarian politics, and she's in Hispanic district. But nonetheless, the parties are changing.
Yeah, well, you know what? And then you've got the other issue. Whoever does run for this still has to deal with defending Corey Stewart for 2 months. It'll be September 8th, so you'll have 60 days. I don't think there's a lot of appetite for that. A lot of people just don't want to be associated with the type of campaign that Corey's running now and what he is likely to keep doing as things get worse. So, I mean, it's a very thankless job. It's without any pay.
Congressman Taylor's point, though, you still have to respect Corey's voters.
Yes.
And Donald Trump's voters. And they're not going away.
Right.
They still have issues that want to be addressed. A lot of it, frankly, right now, is anger-based. And anger is a fear-based emotion. So there's still a lot of fear in the electorate. And that has been spawned by the collapse of the economy in 2008, which has led to a lot of the problems politically around the world.
Right.
Frankly, when you look at Germany right now, Angela Merkel is just cutting a deal on migration issues to save her government. I mean, it's everywhere. And this is what politicians and policymakers have to understand, is that some people were left behind, and they're kind of angry about it.
Do you have a candidate for Republican Party chair?
Oh, no, that's not my wheelhouse. I don't do that anymore. That's up to the state central committee to choose their.
What do you think of my
leader.
candidate? What do you think of my candidate, Gilmore?
The irony is, Gilmore finished poorly in the 2008 Senate campaign. I think he's in the mid to low 30s.
Yeah.
And Corey Stewart might get there as well. But Jim Gilmore is a steadfast guy. He's not going to candy coat things. He can right the ship. He can reach out to the business community at least somewhat,
right,
and say, look, we're going to try to get this thing going in a better direction. But ultimately, it comes down to the Republican voters in the state and what direction they're going to go in. And right now, if you keep appealing to their anger, you're going to get anger back.
Yeah.
And Republicans have to do some soul searching here about what they believe and what is conservatism and how are they going to present it to the public in a meaningful way that can win elections again.
Well, when you've fallen behind...
This is what happens when you run out of steam after being in power for 20 years.
When you fall way behind Maryland, you got a bigger problem than imaginable.
The Democrats in Maryland went through the same problem Republicans are going through.
Right.
They were in power for a long time. The opposition, the adversary, was coming back at them all the time. And eventually, offense gets a little tired. And you start going on defense, start dividing yourself internally, and that's how political parties come and go.
All right, Chris Saxman, thank you.